Welcome, everybody, to Dire Rare and Falskallan Nights. I am your host, the Bard with No Name. It's been a good couple weeks. Nice rest and relaxation. Did Toronto Pride, which was fantastic, and happy end of Pride Month to all of our fancy peoples in the LGBTQIA LBCBD. You keep adding on letters. I'm trying to catch up. I can't. I'm an ally. Work.
It's like the pie of letters.
Exactly. it just keeps going.
Never repeat.
Everybody's included, but equally not. That being the case, we've missed you. I'm excited to play tonight's game. But before we do that, let's get into tonight's session. Tonight's sessions. We're skipping ads. Let's go.
Screw those sponsors.
Yeah, screw the sponsors. We don't need them. That being the case, let's go through some ads. So, with that, Tom, take us in.
Thank you, JT, and of course, thank you, adventurers, for joining us once again on Falskallan Nights. Team Them is on the cusp of a big move this evening as we strike out to start taking back Fish Fairy. Whether blades, spells, or our sheer unadulterated sexual tension, we'll have to use every tool at our disposal to stay alive. Thankfully, we have a comprehensive list of those tools provided by our first sponsor, D&D Beyond. Their platform allows us to keep all our campaign info and character sheets in one handy-dandy place. They've got extensive character creation tools, expandable notes sections, and just about every source book you can name. They also have an extensive inventory section, complete with a search bar that allows you to look up and add all the weird, dangerous, and potentially cursed loot you pick up along the way. That is cursed in both a figurative and literal sense. This section also informs you when you're over-encumbered should you ever encounter one of those rare DMs who actually gives a shit about encumbrance. Thank you to D&D Beyond for continuing to sponsor us and our hoarding problems. Of course, if like Diamondback you prefer to solve all your problems with music, might I direct you towards our second sponsor, FX May Vary. They are a genre-hoppin', hard-rockin', dice-rollin' band of magnificent musicians from Newmarket, Ontario, who recently joined the rarefied air of Dire Bear supporters. They balance toe-tapping tunes with mental health advocacy, and two of their esteemed number are even on one of our D&D shows, Monday night bi-weekly. You can seek them out on YouTube, Spotify, just about anywhere you can stream music, and you can also reach out to them on Facebook or Instagram. Their music is designed to be enjoyed by everyone and may promote feelings of happiness, an impulsive desire to move rhythmically, a desire to share with others, and a compulsion to follow the band on social media. As always, individual FX may vary. Of course, I do know what you're thinking here. That's only two sponsors for such a wonderful channel filled with, I'm gonna say it, absolute friggin' smoke shows. It's just too few sponsors, right? Well, if you would like to change that, you can actually sponsor us yourself. Dire Bear is on Patreon with a ton of fun rewards for you to dig into. You can get Discord privileges, merch, mentions at the end of streams, or, on Wednesday nights, Diamondback parody songs based around your name. And at the highest tier, an opportunity to get monthly voice acting lessons from me! That's right. If you want to know how I get Diamondback's sultry drawl down, or if you'd like to master the fantastic brogue of Enduring Garnet, I would be more than happy to put my experience as a voiceover and radio professional at your disposal. Hop on over to patreon.com/DireBearAC and become part of the magic. And of course, if you love us that much, why not wear your Dire Bear love on your sleeve? Quite literally! Hit up the Dire Bear merch store on Streamlabs, find yourself some roaring great clothing and other merch for all your nerdy needs. We've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we still don't have underwear, but Otter, if you're listening, come on! We do, however, have tank tops now. Our new Beyond Alignment line of Pride merch includes our first set of tank tops, so you can show off those stick arms in some beautifully inclusive geek chic. Beyond Alignment, as you can see on me, also features on t-shirts, with variants that include the non-binary, trans, and Black Lives Matter pride colors. Because, unlike some candy-ass hockey players I can mention, Dire Bear has never been afraid to support inclusivity. These shirts are still on sale for the last few days of June. Please remember, though, human rights are a year-round battle, and our 2S LGBTQIA kindred are facing so much renewed hate from so many bastards worldwide. These symbols are not only an expression of joy, but a promise to stand arm in arm with those who are hurting, to add your voice to theirs when they cry out for better, and to be their bulwark against any gutless prick waffle who thinks that their humanity can be debated. Bears are known for their protective instincts. Be the dire bear that lives up to that rep, partner. JT, back over to you.
Yeah, what he said. That being the case, I'm excited to get into tonight's session, so let's do it. Get into tonight's episode of Falskallan Nights. Welcome back. Welcome to Falskallan Nights. Last time. Oh, fuckles.
Starting it again.
Oh my god.
Anyone else?
So, here's a little pre-context to this. What's going on right now? Why we've got the big ass giggles going on. I know, I'm gonna restart this swear counter at least 4 or 5 fucking times here. Let's do this. Our friendly Given decided to jump onto Twitch to go help support us, but got distracted by some massive gamer titties. That being the case, it has been non-stop conversation, and I have now perpetuated the conversation further.
Because you found her Instagram or Twitter.
I found the Twitter, which led to the many other sites that.
I see.
The thirst is real.
The thirst is real, and it's on brand. Let's just be honest here.
Oh man.
I'm waffle in this wasteland.
Welcome to the start of the game. I've missed you guys. I hate this, but I miss you guys. Last time on Falskallan Nights, though, Team Them had been confronted by Darrin Kalgrav, a man who had trapped them in the sewers and trying to initiate a fight, and was also asking for the location of where the warehouse was, not realizing that he had caught the wrong group of people. After a couple rounds of fighting, Team Them were finally able to calm him down enough for him to realize that they were not the people they were looking for. With that realization in mind, Team Them had also convinced Darrin to get him to take them with him. Man, that is a tongue twister. I didn't realize how bad that was until I had to speak it. That being the case, going back to his hideout and realizing that this man has an armory for a basement, offered his place for shelter for Team Them, but also talked about Laisha Ross and what he had known, what he had found out, and what he had found out about Trollsbane. knowing that the people that were infected had contents of mushrooms in their stomachs. With Team Them finally coming to a plan and heading back to Fate's Blessings, the hospital, headed by the Soul Weavers Consortium, they take a long night's rest. Again, next... Wow. Next to some fire. A meal that filled their bellies. That we're going to start tonight's game. So if there's any... Oh, Halsterian, you're still in the net. We've canonically recognized this. You've just been fed with a spoon the whole night.
All right.
Right.
Wait.
So, when are we... Not that I don't love the hospitality, but, when are we going to make our way elsewhere?
All this morning, right?
Uh,
Hopefully the storm has passed some.
Oh, roll a D100, please.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Darn it.
I'll do it, I said it. 28.
Okay.
Well, anyone have any preparations to do before we get on our way as I use armor on Hal and myself?
I pull my axe out. Still here. Put it back. Pull my 2 other axes out. Pull here. I'm good. Let's go.
Tunes up
Hair
a
up,
loot.
the moose.
Any chance there's a crossbow that isn't being utilized at the moment?
Crossbow. Are you asking Darrin?
Yeah?
Okay.
No, otherwise it's just a little weird for Yimmer to just speak up. Into
I
the
don't know.
void.
I just didn't know if you were asking in or out of character at that point, because sometimes you just ask out of question characters, out of character questions in that voice, and I'm like, wait, what?
It's his inner monologue.
His outer monologue.
Is that him talking to the bag? Darrin's in the process of waking up right now. You see him get off his cot, and you kind of see him like change a long tunic. It's this woolen. It's this very heavily padded woolen fabric, and he takes it off, and you notice that there's a lot more burn scars on his back, and on like as he's turning around, you see a lot of the pot marks of like chemical burns all over. Looks like this guy has been through the fucking ringer.
Reset timer.
Yep.
Oh crap, I forgot we had one.
It's gonna be a night. It's just gonna be a night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's usually not me who sets it off.
Yeah.
Blame it on the Twitch titties.
Twitties.
Yeah, my whole brain just like short circuited. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, I need to share with the group. Wow, there's enough to share.
It's like a cat that brings a bird back to the family.
Oh my god, it was just right there. Huge. Yeah, Tiggle Bitties. Charmander they were so tig. They were tigmungus.
Except the bird is a whole ass Aarakocra.
Oh,
Reset.
Well, start reset. Oh,
He's getting us in trouble.
Listen, I had
Going
gay
to clip
feels
this, aren't
just
they?
gay panic all of a sudden. It's just like, dang. Dang.
Gay panic. This woman has been nothing but a bane of my existence. That being the
Miracles
case, he gets
exist.
back to the main question. He gets up. You need a crossbow?
Well, I don't need it. Like, I can kill things otherwise, but if you have one that you're not using, and bolts to go with it, kind of a bit silly to have one without the other. But if you do, I would be most appreciative. I know we kind of got off to the wrong foot, me offering you a mushroom and all that, but, you know, you still look like a fun guy.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, Greenie. And persuasion is awesome. Fun! Fun!
Oh, no.
So fun. 15.
Give me a second. He turns around and he goes into a back room. It's kind of like a raggedy old door. He just opens, goes in. You kind of get a quick glimpse, and you notice that it's almost like a semi-armory in there. And you hear just a little bit of rummaging. Comes out, and he's got this kind of ratty-looking crossbow. It doesn't look like it's been fired in years. And he walks up to you. You might want to check this out before you fire it.
I'll check it out.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Press X to investigate.
Yep.
Okay.
Investigate.
Hey, that's better. 17.
17? Cool. As you're looking over this crossbow, you notice that he kind of steps away and he comes back with about 15 bolts. This is all I have. You're looking it over and you realize the firing mechanism is a little bit stuck. Like you're just kind of loosely pulling everything, making sure everything is loose enough. Or don't pull a lone survivor. Yeah, the firing mechanism's just a bit stuck. You might want to get it repaired. Other than that, the wood is in relatively decent condition, very dusty, and the string could use a replacement, but it looks like it's still in good enough condition to loose the bolting mechanisms.
Much obliged, sir. I normally offer someone something of the fungal variety at this point, but I will not this time. Out of
Good.
respect.
I appreciate that.
Excellent.
So what's your plan of attack?
Well, if it pleases you, you know a bit more about what's happening on this side of the river. So, we're hoping you might be able to, I don't know, help us do a little bit of recon or give us an idea of the lay of the land. Beyond that, so far our plan has been wander around up top and look for trouble.
Hmm.
We're pretty good at finding trouble.
You mentioned something about going to Fate's Blessing.
Right. Yep. We were still gonna go to the hospital.
Mm.
Yep.
I can tell you the recommended route.
That'd be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna head south and see if I can catch any more of those cultists.
Once we check out the hospital, we'll head back this way.
If we find anything there, we'll think really hard and we'll let you know.
One of us will, surely.
Hey, it's worked before. Maybe just a spleen, but it's worked before.
And I just shoot a quick message over to Beatrice. Yes, the voices in your head are in fact real.
Your eyes so wide. It's just like, what the fuck?
They want you to give Diamond back all your gold.
I like my gold, though. It's my gold.
Then
He
you
says it out
I'm
loud.
just messing around with you, kid.
Wait, it was you fucker!
Oh.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, God damn it. Ugh.
I think we made it like 5 minutes that time.
Yeah.
No.
Six, actually.
We were for something both times.
Oh, my
Yep.
stream froze. No wonder. There we go. Okay.
Well, Char, you must be having a blast with this one now. Clearly, the Chaos Gremlins have just enamored us.
Oh yeah.
It's been 2 weeks. We're trying to catch up.
Lot of pent up energy.
Yep.
A lot of pent up gay panic.
You know it.
That being the case, if you need to go up to Fate's Blessing, avoid the main road. The ward riders are constantly patrolling. Any of the infected, it's hit or miss. They seem to move on their own turf and terms. You might get lucky, you might not. Who knows?
Speaking of them, any idea how durable they are?
Not that durable. 1 or 2 good placed hits and you'll be good. I mean, you hit any human in the heart, shit's gonna go down.
I was about to ask, were you just asking how durable a person is?
I didn't think about it like that, but now that you mention it, I guess so.
Well, strictly speaking, anything that moves after it rightly ought to be dead is,
A friend.
I was gonna say presumably more durable than usual, but yes.
Sometimes friends, though. Only friends if you make them, right, Yimmer?
I think so. Haven't seen anyone else do it.
Can I make friends? It'd be weird if I made friends.
I think we're good on that front.
You make pre-friends. You're the key ingredient to making friends. They need to not be friendly.
Lessons in supply and demand.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. And he gives you the rest of the directions. How to get up there efficiently.
Well, I guess we go see if it's still storming out there.
Are we going above ground or underground?
I know my choice.
Even if it's snowing out there again? Just, God, that was tiring.
It was, but just once I'd like to spend my day not smelling of shit.
Reset the timer.
Reset the timer.
We're really having a hard time tonight.
Yeah.
Let's at least check it out.
Eh,
Because if it's not storming anymore, well, maybe I won't need all these layers. Ugh.
Besides, if Darrin here has set any more traps around, traveling through the sewers may not be as safe or productive as we think.
True.
If we're above
I love an unproductive sewer.
Clogged, you might say.
So we're going up. Is that the plan?
I think so.
Please.
Yay, pickle juice.
It is
Oh, the
definitely-
pun wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't the pun. It's just the whole situation of everything.
Just talking in circles.
We can't swear. Twitties. And then you guys just being chaos gremlins on top of it all.
Just a point of order. Yammer will have tried to stuff 3 bolts into the poison sheath that he has. Just letting you know.
Okay. I mean, it's not hard to do that. The shape of the dagger. That was for a dagger, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a dagger sheath.
Yeah. So it's easy enough to stick a singular bolt in there and just kind of, give it a widge around. Is there an actual
There are 4 charges, so I was going to do 3 bolts and leave 1 for a dagger.
Is there is there a description on the item itself? I just want to be sure.
Let's see. We did this off. This was homebrew shit.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, let me see.
And reset the timer
No,
again.
I didn't say it. Didn't say it all the way through.
No, but he did.
I did.
That's some shit.
Ah,
Ah.
so
Guys, we've been really good tonight.
Mhm.
30 minutes. We still haven't no cursing.
Okay, so you said I'd say make it 2d6 and good for 3 or 4 coatings.
Okay, then, yeah. For the sake of it, no, it works. You dip it in, you pull it out, and you notice like the sheen of the poison
Okay. Cool.
on it, and you realize, oh, okay, cool. This works.
Awesome. And I'm fine with it, like, having to canonically take a few minutes.
Yeah,
Ritual casting, if you will.
yeah,
But-
that's fine.
We're not exactly
but-
moving.
Darrin looks. I'm gonna head upstairs, see if the storm is gone. And so he heads out to another section of the shop, around his main table, around all the other workbenches and whatnot, kind of clanging into a couple of the hanging utensils that were from the ceiling. And he's out.
All right.
Shall we go?
Anybody knows? Like, is anybody following? I'm just kind of like leaving the space to see if anybody reacts to this or not.
Not me.
Yeah.
I'm staying right
Are we
here
going
and
to
letting
raid the
someone else
place while
work
he's
out.
gone? Yeah.
Yeah, like, was it squatters' rights or something like that? This is now ours.
I don't think that's. Why do we need it?
I
He
mean,
comes
I think
back,
helps me.
He comes back another 2 minutes later. The storm is still going. It looks like it's let up a little bit.
You can keep my cloak, Howard.
Thanks.
Yeah, your level of exhaustion should have.
I was up to 2. I still have 1.
Yeah, so you should. Yeah, you have 1 level of exhaust.
No fun.
If you want to take the sewers, I'll have to take you out there myself.
And Mac, you sure you're going to be okay without one of these?
Yeah, so far so good, but well, if I start chattering enough that I can't sing, toss it back, please.
Will do.
All right, pack your things. Let's go.
Okay.
You.
So heading into
I
through
assume-
the. Oh,
Sorry, I assume one of you is cutting me out of this net at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Still getting dragged.
Yeah. Oh, crap, we leave you in there all night.
Better than being dragged through the sewers, I'm afraid. Cozy in here, but no.
We'll go assist him with the net.
I mean, it's easy enough to pull the net off of him. The fact that you guys just didn't do it beforehand is kind of hilarious. Rich kid in a net. What will he come up with next?
I mean, we assumed that Howard took him out of the net off screen.
Oh my god.
No, we don't need more gay panic.
Around everybody? Excuse me.
Tell the ships to keep sailing.
No, keep the net on. Thank you,
You're not helping. Stop it.
No, keep
There's too much panic going on here. Down.
Oh my god, my head.
I am the disco.
Put me in the sewer.
Yep.
Danger! Danger! High voltage. Oh, Electric 6.
Oh, man. Yep.
That was my high school, is what that was.
So good. Anywho, are we leaving?
Yeah, well, we were in the middle of leaving. And then somebody
Already
complained
gone?
about still being in the net. That being the case, heading through the sewers. Come on! Heading through the sewers, Darrin takes you what seems to be in a very winding path. It might be for very purposeful reasons, but eventually he pops you out. And as soon as you guys get up, you were immediately pelted with just like the wind and the snow hitting your face. And it actually isn't as bad as it was the night previous. It looks like it has let up. So you're not like, you don't have a sight disadvantage with this. You've got a full view of your surroundings, and you realize that you're in a bit of a more quote unquote wealthier spot of Fish Ferry. It looks to be almost kept up, and you just hear from the sewers. You see the owl mask come up. We float down here.
Oh.
Just keep heading north. You'll be okay. Sorry. Let's just keep heading north. You'll be okay from there.
Sounds good. Best of luck out there.
I don't need it. You do. And he disappears into the sewer system itself.
I always call it harmonies.
Yeah, great pep talk.
Clearly a leader of great charisma. So, I'm assuming you guys will head north?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Heading into the north direction, I would like for you guys to make perception checks. And I'm assuming you want to do this stealthily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I would say, if
Oh,
3 of you roll a perception check, 3 of you roll a stealth check, and whatever the average is will be what the group has for each.
You don't want me rolling stealth.
my perception.
Like.
My perception is decent.
I can roll some
My
stealth.
perception is quite good.
I can do stealth.
And the stealth will be done at advantage because it is still a storm out.
Mm,
I can
Thank you,
take the
thank you.
third stealth.
Okay.
Super stealthy.
That's a nice one.
It's
We only got
okay.
1 minute left on the timer. We can do it.
Stop. Don't jinx us. Please.
Everyone
Um,
just don't
Everybody
speak
be
for
quiet for a minute.
I'm gonna say
Give it stop.
exactly.
Meditation.
Well, we're doing better with the timer than I am with my stealth.
Okay,
Oh,
so stealth
Ooh.
checks. Who rolled? All right, what'd you get?
5.
At an advantage.
Time it back.
Oh wait, because you're
26.
And Yimmer.
26 as well.
Aha!
carry him.
It's a straight roll. I'm at disadvantage still. I'm tired.
That 5 really brought you guys down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perceptions.
23.
3.
14.
14.
16.
We'll at least see the shit coming.
Oh,
Missed the timer.
oh my god!
Yes!
Fucking titties ruined everything.
Oh,
Oh my god! Oh!
the panic that went through my brain. I was like, we have like
Yeah.
5 seconds left, don't we?
Yeah, I looked at
Yimmer?
the screen and I was like, oh my god!
We made it.
Oh, my butt clenched so fast. I was like, oh my god, please no!
Everyone, get your shits and fucks out now before Charmander realizes.
I'll just roll that in with your stealth checks. Okay, that being the case, you guys head north. It's still, even though this is more upscale part of Fish Ferry, it's still in very much the same design as what you guys had come in, so you can use the back alleyways and kind of use like the central courtyards within the blocking units to utilize your stealth a lot better and whatnot. You guys are gonna have to tell me what you kind of want to do. I'm trying to describe it as best I can, so that way you have the options. But the main street is still very much open, and even though it is snowing, it's a mix between a flurry and light snow, or like heavier set light snowing.
I think B would probably like lead through side paths and things like that.
Yeah, that is what I had figured. That being the case, you head in, and very much still of the same design, where the central courtyards are it's still very much linear, where you see the backs of like these 2 or 3 story homes, townhomes, and kind of like a communal area in behind them where people can congregate. It is still very much snow covered, and the snow is about 1.5 feet high. It really snowed last night. Although there are no signs of fresh tracks. That being the case, it's still fairly eerie feeling.
What is everyone's movement speed?
Um,
25.
30.
I don't like that question.
Nope.
30.
40.
25. Us dwarves got little feet.
Mhm.
Well, big feet, little legs.
Did you say dwubs?
Yes.
This dwub's got twitties. Like Beth Chapman from Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Second
anyways.
gets me 2 people, so since Spleen's faster than the rest of us generally, I'm gonna cast...
Fuck. Don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn a 2nd and 3rd level slot to put Longstrider on the rest of us for the
thank
next
God.
hour, so that we can keep up with Spleen and try and move through the storm a little faster.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, this was so fun last time, right, B?
Oh, it was the greatest. Let's go.
Oh,
But we're doing that stealthily.
Yeah.
Stealthy fast.
So basically, what you're doing is like a dog leapfrogging in a big field, just.
Oh, is that how it works?
Oh,
I was
I'm
thinking
trying to
like,
find the best description. And the funniest one was that.
I was thinking like Roadrunner, like just 2 little wheels. And just,
Yeah, all you've got are 2 figure eights going.
yeah. Just this
Nicely done.
tail of snow.
With that, you guys are moving at quite a good clip. Eventually, Beatrice, you notice a giant estate that's a giant estate off in the distance. It's about 2 stories tall. And there are windows on it everywhere. You notice that it's got the sign Fate's Blessing on it.
That's our spot.
Rather fancy for a
goodness.
hospital.
Yeah, it's this beautiful stonework building, and it is very long. You don't really have a idea what the depth of it is, but you kind of get the sense that this is a huge place.
Let's hurry up and get out of this snow.
Are we busting in through the front door? Or are we breaking a window?
I mean, it might be unlocked.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking if there's anyone waiting in there, we just barge through the front door and be like, "Hey, everyone, we're here."
I mean, we
Yeah,
could
for-
peek.
That's something I hadn't thought of.
Subtlety, not my thing.
Boom! Kick down the door. I'm here, motherfuckers. That's how B operates, and only.
Yeah, that's how Spleen does too.
Nuh-uh.
You don't kick doors?
Only when they deserve it.
Doors always deserve it, Spleen. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. How
I was
dare
gonna
they
say.
put doors? I want only open opportunity.
You know what? The world should just be made of those like fringe, like curtain things.
What the hell are you talking about?
They're like dangly like bits of string with like beads and things on them. Like just instead of doors, we should have dangly beads in our doorways.
That's a choking hazard.
I guess so.
Listen, when you are drunk as fuck and you get up in the middle of the night and you're fucking hungry, what are you gonna see? The first thing you're gonna see is some dangly, colorful, shiny shit at your so-called doorway, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, fruit, and you're gonna go for it.
Fruit?
Yes, and that's why I don't have any jewelry.
No, I'm sorry. I was more asking, you eat fruit?
Yeah. I'm an omnivore. I eat everything.
Liam, you want to check out that hospital?
I guess so. It's kind of peaceful out here, and, keeping an eye out for new potential friends.
I can help you make friends. I'm good at that.
You were great last time. I just wish our friend lasted a bit longer. But, and the other one, that one too, will be nice to last a little longer. No, having a good luck here. Not exactly built the same way here. Wonder if it has to do with that, sickness. And I don't believe it, that mushrooms are the cause. No.
I mean,
Are you a mushroom denier?
magically altered mushrooms.
Okay, that is plausible.
They're not naturally like that.
Okay, you got
Fungal apologist. You guys get closer to the building, and you realize that about half the windows have been boarded up, and some of them have already been smashed in.
See, someone else has already, busted in through the windows. Wasn't that bad of an idea, guys?
Well,
I didn't.
That being the case, you do see signs of tracks in around, but they don't look exactly fresh.
Mm.
I'd like for any of you to make a survival check if you want.
Okay.
ooh, let me.
He was in a net. He knows how to survive.
I did great, guys. I did real good.
What is that?
I got a 3.
I got a
Oh,
5!
Oh, no.
my God. 17.
14.
22.
These tracks look like they're about a day old.
Like pre or post snowstorm? Or I guess pre or... Okay.
It would be pre at that point.
Yeah, looks like they... Does it look like they're going into the hospital?
That one's hard to be sure because the snow that's been on top of them. But I mean, there's a track that's going into the front doors. Whether or not sign of direction is impossible to tell.
Well, they may have had the same idea as us to, shelter inside. I think we probably won't be sneaky. Telling who's there.
I agree.
I will do my best. Clang, 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 clang.
Everybody's stealthy and you've got jungle beads coming through. They sounded the Congo. Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka.
That's all right, kid. Just believe in the me that believes you can walk slightly quieter than that, and I'll kind of tap you on the shoulder for some bardic inspiration.
Honestly, that's one of the more beautiful bardic inspirations I've ever heard from you.
I have my moments.
Custom songs. That being the case, so you are still outside this building. You haven't decided which direction you're heading in. You haven't told me if you're going through a window, a door, finding something else. What are you doing?
The front door's window.
Oh my God.
The door's wide open. You shut it and throw Spleen through the window. She opens it up from the other side. It's open.
All clear.
Door's open. Send in the tactical Spleen.
We should just go leave our Jenkins into this bitch then.
That's right.
He was a very famous dwarf. Most people might know him.
I think I heard of him.
A song has been sung about his famous charge and the aftermath.
Yep.
Some say they're still scraping the insides of that dungeon. Okay, what are you guys doing? Come on. Jump
door.
down. Big feet. Mini.
Front door.
Front door.
All of that to just go.
I'm just gonna step up to it and just take the handle and just open it.
You start walking up to the front doors and you realize they are actually ajar. These two beautiful set of double doors that, well, they are ajar, but beautifully inlaid, showing a lot of the Soul Weaver Consortium insignias and whatnot. You push it open, and it is actually surprisingly dark within the main entranceway. You see this desk that is right in front of you, this very long and there's like this very long desk that has a spot for two secretaries. There's nobody there, but you see what looks to be mass disarray, chairs that have been thrown around, the snow that has been let in, and you still get the chill from the wind behind you. This place is, well, a mess, and it looks like it's been like this for a very long time. You see what looks to be like blood splattered all over the walls. There's scratch marks and signs of sword play that has been in here. Couple stains that look like there have been some pooling blood.
This place sucks.
Yeah, but you also see that some of the stonework that this whole building is made out of is actually like full on removed.
Doors open.
I'm gonna make my way inside.
Yeah, it
The
looks
wind
like
and
it
snow.
looks like shit went down in here.
And currently, the way you're looking at things, from the way the doors, from where you came from the doors, you see a hallway heading straight down into darkness, and you see two hallways left and right.
Well, while you guys explore, I'm gonna go outside and go to the bathroom. I'm gonna be right back.
No, wait, they'll track the yellow snow.
Oh, hey, it's delicious this time of year.
Is there any
Alright, well.
sign of the missing team?
Make an investigation.
While that's happening, I look over at Yimmer and go, hey, I'll go that way, you go that way. We're super fast.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, Spleen's busy. Howard's doing his thing, so
16.
yeah, no one's supervising us.
And run? Yeah, exactly.
16 investigation. Yeah. You're looking around, and it takes you about 5 or 10 minutes. Lean's been taking a long time with that pee, but been holding it in since last week.
That could be a fore and aft.
No, you don't. You see that there's been signs of people walking through this. The pools of blood also have seemingly like tracks, footsteps that go right through it, but you're not too sure if that's been before, what context everything is in, other than it's happened. Trying to look for something specific with the scouting group, you're not finding anything, but you do see a couple of signs, and for the sake of it, I'm just going to say up, left, and right. Up is straightforward. So there's a sign pointing straight forward for doctor patients. Left is laboratories. And to the right is administration.
We should probably check out laboratories first.
Yeah.
Followed by doctor patients.
Really don't want to hit the administration first. Might be more... You know what? Never mind. You're right.
So again, Gimmer will go that way. I'll go that way. Spling can go straight, and we'll see what we find.
Well,
Sounds
this
good.
hospital's big.
No,
We
no.
probably shouldn't. Okay.
I just imagine either Diamondback or Howard or Hal just grabbing like the back of us by the scruff of the neck.
Diamondback's just
And then
Diamondback's just gonna look at Howard and go, "Hey, you're the one who gave him a long strider."
No,
That was-
here's the funniest thing about that whole situation is Yimmer gets easily stopped. Beatrice is basically like a Doberman pulling a grandmother. Just
Diamondback's used to it.
Yeah.
I won't go
Like
do
kind
the
of
thing.
walk him to start walking him towards the other door. That's it, buddy. I think Howard's right. Sticking together is probably not the worst idea, considering we don't know what the hell's in here.
Mhm.
Is that why we left Spleen outside?
The door's right
exactly.
there.
I'm right here. What do you mean?
See?
I was waiting for you guys to move on and be like, "Where's Spleen?" You just see her like, what'd you call it? Kool-Aid Man herself through the walls.
Before we get started, I am going to light my Lantern of Revealing.
Ooh.
Good plan.
Especially if it's dark in here.
Mm-hmm. Dark vision
Now-
only goes so far.
Might just get hit by blinding light.
Now, just for future reference, if we'd have fished that out of your pockets when you were caught up in the net, would that have helped us out in the smoke earlier, or?
Doubtful.
Yeah.
It really just makes invisible things visible and is otherwise a normal light source.
Well, worth asking.
Fair. Very fair.
Okay.
So we go.
All right,
Let's-
let's head down laboratories.
All right. Following the hallway through, you still see the signs of you still see the signs of battles on the walls, and there are now a couple of corpses that are right in front of you. They're pretty bad shape and condition. Like an arm has been completely severed. There's a leg gone there, and it looks like these. There looks to be. I'm just gonna roll in your investigation checks from earlier, instead of just continually asking you to do this. You notice that they're bite marks all over the body and sizable chunks of flesh that have been ripped out. Now, these bodies are frozen, so you don't know if it was freshly done, or if it's been done on immediate postpartum. Or post-mortem, not partum.
Entirely different kind of.
Well, I'm trying to be smart. My brain's not letting me think right.
I was like, whoa, this very specific type of thing going on.
You know what?
Didn't we deal with
Shush.
that out in the forest? Postpartum mortem?
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh.
moving along, you guys are following down this hallway. It's still. You eventually get yourself to like a Y intersection. One, the hallway to the left kind of leads in and around a bend, while the hallway to the right leads almost to an immediate junction, like a crossroads.
Junction makes sense, huh?
Hmm.
Looking over to the left hand side where it kind of curves around, you do see light coming from that area.
Eeny, meeny, miny, that way.
Yes, I lean towards going towards the light. See if there's actually a source of it that's
Still going.
friendly. Yeah.
Plus, if it ain't,
Yeah.
won't be a problem for long.
So heading into the left direction, you round the corner and come to the realization that there was just a window that had been smashed, not covered. But you still follow this tower like shape around it. There was a wall pretty much to your still pretty much on the inner side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically following a hallway in around a tower section at this point.
Right.
Is the glass broken in or outward?
Outward.
Hmm.
We still on the first floor?
Yep. Yeah, like you guys are on the first floor. It kind of raises, like you kind of walked up a set of stairs that brings it up about 4 or 5 feet. Nothing. So technically, yes, still first floor, but you're about 5 feet off the ground.
I'll keep on going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You keep following it through, and it's very much the same style. You eventually round off the same set of like windows that have been, some of them are like completely boarded up, while there's one other one that has been opened, and the glass, same thing, busted out. Eventually rounding this tower section, and it's sloping itself back into a straight section. You see that there's a door that has been barricaded and shut. You can still follow straight, and it looks like it's going into another tower section. But across from the door that was on your left that leads outside is another door that leads further into the building on the right.
And you said one of them is barricaded shut?
The one that is leading outdoors.
Barricaded from the inside?
Yes. Yeah, you see that there's like a couple sets of doors that have been shoved underneath, and then a bar, like a half cocked like iron rod bar that's just been shoved in and kind of half bent. Looks like whoever had done this didn't do a really good job trying to bend pure iron.
Don't dead open inside.
But it looks to have done the job enough.
As they're trying to turn this place into a fortress or something.
Wouldn't you?
Depends on what was inside.
At this rate, warmth. I say we move a little bit further in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is still quite cold in here. Still air, and the blowing air actually makes it warmer inside this building, but generally walking in, this still cold air is biting at the skin.
Yeah. All right.
I agree. Let's go further in and see what we can find.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you try the door?
Yeah.
Okay. It opens without ease. Yes, my words are wrong.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, it opens with ease.
No barricade or anything on the inside?
You get the sense that this was like nothing. You just open.
All right.
And about another 10 feet forward, you run into another T section. Another T section to the right You see darkness, but there are a couple of doors. Like it's another hallway that kind of starts going straight and then curves off. But there are a set of doors right there, right on the left-hand side. If you look to the right, you see another. You see a cross section, a junction.
Are there any signs directing anywhere in sight?
Actually, right in front of you, you see a sign that points to the right, and it says entrance. The entrance. You also see another sign pointing to the right, and it says laboratories. To the left, it says laboratories and supply.
We are after supplies. If there's anything left.
The walls are still very much like there seems to have been a fire specifically in this spot. Like the evidence of a blaze that has been here. It's quite evident, and it's not hard to find out that had happened. But there are charred corpses around. Hard to determine what kind they were. Some of them are in shorter stature, so you kind of get they're probably one of the smaller races. But and some are a little bit taller. But again, it's hard to really discern what. That being the case, you still see chunks of wall that have been blown, out, or looks to be like forcefully removed.
Any idea where they'd be taking chunks of the wall?
Maybe to fortify other spots?
Suppose,
But
but
also
wouldn't we have
what-
seen some of that at the door?
You would see the. Sorry if I didn't describe this a little bit better, but like it looks like it'd been blown out, but the debris is pretty much fallen right in or in and around the area. So it's not like it was something that was just taken out.
Like there's just like a square missing.
Yeah.
Wall.
Yeah, it's not just like there's a square missing from the wall and there's no evidence of the wreckage. Like it looks like it was like pushed
blown apart and then
blown apart, pushed, something. You don't know.
Well, my
very
vote
evident here.
is towards the supply. Oh, sorry.
Well, I agree with you.
All right, so moving more towards the supply.
Yeah.
As you're stepping closer, you see stepping closer to the doors, you notice that some of them are ajar, and inside the room is still inside those rooms are very much disheveled. But that's just from what you kind of immediately see. Just stop me in the middle of my descriptions so that you can if you want to like investigate, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't want to poke around the second we see anything that looks like it could be a room or a closet of supplies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing really jumps out at you at this point. Nothing has really been labeled. Actually, except for these doors, which say test rooms. By the time you get to the third door, you see laboratory.
Are there any windows into the test rooms?
No. It's just straight wooden doors, and these doors look very heavily reinforced. There's bits of wrought iron that have been melted into the wood itself, and you can see that.
I'm gonna... I'm gonna stand a bit back from the door, just 5-10 feet, and prestidigitation to create a small knock on the door, on just one of the test room doors.
Okay. So there was one door that was pretty much on your immediate left-hand side when you come into that section of the hallway, and then there was the one that was a little bit further ahead. The one that was just to your left was a bit ajar. The one, and then the second one right behind it was closed.
I'll try.
So you create a knocking noise?
Yeah, on the closed door.
So one moment goes by. 2 moments go by. You don't hear anything.
Hey, if you want to know if there's shit here, I can just go run and screaming down the halls.
Well, I was more curious if we'd get a noise in response.
We are looking for, hopefully, friendly folk, are we not?
Hopefully. But I'm also wondering if some of the original patients were here.
B looks down at the corpses.
What are the corpses wearing?
The corpses?
Yeah.
The body's been charred pretty much all the way through. It's kind of get like it's the first thing that comes to mind is like Owen and Baru Lars from Star Wars.
What about the
Okay.
ones that we had seen further down? Because we had seen ones with like missing arms and legs and things like that.
You'd seen severed arms.
Oh, we've not seen bodies.
Like you've seen severed arms, and like there has been like a torso, like a corpse and whatnot that have visible bite marks into it.
Mm.
Well, I'm just going to reach out for the door handle. Anybody who's got anything with range, feel free.
Oh, I would like to know marching order as well. Just like these hallways are wide enough, but just to figure out like me mentally mapping everything out.
Howard's probably sticking towards the middle.
Same.
Same.
I guess if
We'll be front middle then.
yeah, I was gonna say I guess with reaching for
Not everybody can be middle.
I'll reach for the front.
yeah, I was gonna say I guess with reaching for the door handle, I volunteered for front.
Yeah.
That's
So
it,
you
yeah.
reach for the door handle, and it's this nice iron doorknob. You go for it. You try it.
Yep.
It opens.
All right.
Push it in.
Poke my head. Yeah. Poke my head inside.
Roll for initiative. No. You stick your head inside, and you see what looks to be like a chair that is in the middle of this room. Like it's one of those. It's one of those reclining chairs that have the like the wrist straps and whatnot, like the restraining.
Mm-hmm.
The restraining harnesses on it. But you notice that the restraining harnesses are completely gone. And like this chair is completely bent out of shape. This room has scratch and claw marks and also like pot marks into the wall. Which, funnily enough, when you look a little bit closer, you notice that one of the walls have been, well, removed. Like a good section of the wall has been, like, just blown right out.
Yeah.
Has it
Blown
been
out into a. Sorry.
has it been like the same side of the walls, or has it been kind of random, or is that too smart for BF to put together?
Well, it's kind of like the glass, which way.
I'll put it to you this way. You're trying to put things together. It's not exactly working, but not a lot of it's making sense. So, could be a
Hey.
pattern. It could be random. Who knows?
I
Smart
would
people.
like.
Does this make any sense to smart people?
I got an idea or two, but nothing yet.
God, does it look like one of those stupid ass elemental attacks, like all the burns everywhere and like the walls being busted open? Does it look like an earth elemental fucking charged through the shit?
Make a history check.
Shit. Okay. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay, that's okay. That's a 16.
You're racking your brain, but the twitties are really getting to you. You're thinking on it and trying to see if it makes any correlated sense. It's been a while since you've dealt with an earth elemental, but given that you had a Myrmidon under your control and it easily pushed through the Castle Menestad doors and brickwork, you recognize that it's very much of the same type, but it doesn't look as big.
Are there any bodies around?
In that room, no, there are no bodies. But again, you still see the slash marks on the wall, the pot marks.
Yeah.
Yo,
Hmm?
this make you think of something.
Little.
Leaving.
It's just, like, all the attacks, and also when you had the big, that big thing.
Did you swallow something?
Shh, quiet. Where did that noise come from?
It came from down the hallway. It came from down the hallway where you guys had come in.
I going to peek out the door ever so slightly and see if I could see any.
Make a perception check. Now it is still dark in here, so take that into consideration.
Well, I rolled pretty well, so 19.
19?
Hmm?
That's with a disadvantage?
Mm-hmm. I got a
Shit.
I rolled a 15 and a 19, and I have a +4. Yeah,
Very nice.
that was a good roll.
You're looking about, you don't think you see anything.
Hmm.
Well, wherever it is, gotta be quiet.
How far away is the junction we came from?
The junction?
Mm-hmm.
About 20 feet. Give or take 5-foot block square.
And it continues the other direction, right?
So you're looking the opposite direction of the quote unquote junction.
Yeah, looking towards the junction and past in the other direction. Down the
Okay,
other
so you're
hall.
looking past the junction. As soon as you reach the point of like the hallway that you came in from the doorway, it curves basically at 45 degrees. So you're not able to see down further than is pretty much immediate.
Okay. Oh, then I can't try to do what I was gonna. Maybe we should quietly. I thought.
You can say it loudly. I can't barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even think about it.
I get it. I love the role play. It was just like,
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, whispering. You're saying this.
Yeah, he's whispering. Let's try to be quiet. Did the door creak at all when we opened it?
No.
I'm gonna try and quietly close it.
Okay.
Why didn't I do that? One of you guard that door. I'm gonna try and creep.
Right.
Fine.
I'm
It is
just
the
moving
only
my
entrance,
lantern back
right?
and forth.
In the room? No, there's a hole going into the other
Other
room.
than the yeah.
Yes, this is the only man-made entrance.
So I'm gonna try and sit down and quietly cast telepathic bond. Ritually.
Okay. You're taking the time to do this. Anybody else doing anything?
I guess while some people are guarding the door, Yimmer will keep his new crossbow pointed at the hole,
Okay.
and I can see, so.
I'm going to ask this because I don't want to be a dick. Did you actually fix the firing mechanism on that thing?
No.
Okay.
Has done nothing.
Okay, good. Didn't want to.
No, that's a very good.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, being
Didn't
honest.
want to make sure that it slipped your mind. No, that was purposeful. Got it.
Great question.
Column A, column B. It's like, oh yeah, I should have done that. I didn't.
Sounds right for Yimmer.
It's like I warned you.
You got
That being
excited
the
about.
case, so you're
Good
still
thing.
watching. You're still watching the door.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's shut, so you're just actively perceiving at this point, seeing if you can hear anything.
Well, the hole. Like I'm
Oh,
not.
Oh, you're looking at the hole into the other room.
Yeah. So
And I mean, if you look into the other room, it's very much the same thing. Of like there was another. There was a desk. There's another like recliner like chair, but this chair has been absolutely just destroyed. Almost like shorn right in half.
Mm.
Jeez.
And again, more splash marks on the walls, more pot marks.
is there another hole in the wall
No,
for the next one? No.
no.
Hmm.
It's just the door that is open.
Okay, so Yimmer will kind of go next to the hole and aim at the open door in the other room.
As you're looking, You're just looking. A minute goes by. 2. 3. Sitting there in the... Even though it's cold, you still feel like a sweat kind of be just drip right down your forehead, and you think, okay, heard something. You see a humanoid shape just go past this slightly ajar door. But that's where the humanoid elements of it end. You see these, like, for the sliver that you see what looks to be like long hairs coming out of this, and almost like in a very elongated, strided hunch. Just for the second that you catch the face, you see these super elongated fangs, teeth.
Do we have telepathic bonds yet?
You're about 5 minutes in.
You have 5 more minutes.
You don't think they've caught on to you guys?
Maybe we'll just be still.
Another minute goes by, and all you hear, and it's a little bit further down the hallway. Eight minutes go by. 9. 10th minute. How long is the bridge pool? It's supposed to be 10 minutes plus whatever the casting time is.
Plus an action.
10 minutes, 6 seconds. Feel the connection.
Howard's eyes flash a little bit and he just releases the magic to everyone. Everyone can hear me, right? In his head.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! That thing is huge! Did you see it? Anyone else see it?
I heard it.
Oh?
What?
There's a big and like hairy, but like weird hairy and like clickety click, but like big. And no,
Not human.
no. Maybe at some point. Like I don't even think I could make it a friend. Like it's big scary stuff of nightmares.
Whoa.
What?
I'll look at
attention to
the
that.
look at the claw marks on the wall. You reckon it might be what made this mess?
Mm. I'd put money on it, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
What is it, like a bear?
I could barely see it.
You could
Just
barely
like a-
see it.
I guess it is a bear, yeah.
Hmm.
So it's not a person.
Not anymore, at least. Like, what's all this stuff here? Like, this is kind of weird. Like, was it a person? Did they make it into whatever that was?
I don't know.
This whole place has been weird. This is nothing like the Fate's Blessing that I know. It's strange. You know, this is a place of healing and all these scorch marks and the busted down walls. It makes no sense for what it was normally.
Well,
Something happened here. It was big.
Let's see if we can get further into lab, find anything. And Al, I'm starting to lean towards what you said, maybe administration after that. I don't left it wondering.
yeah. I don't know, we got any discs we can rifle through in here?
Yeah, any paperwork in here that tells a little bit of information that might have not gotten slash marks?
In this room is fairly bare, but there are desks in the other room.
Through the hole.
Yep.
To the
Stay
breach.
low and quiet.
Yeah.
It's probably why all those pieces are missing or something.
hmm
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of tiptoe into the next room if I can and just start slowly opening drawers.
Yep. Sleight of hand. I'm
Because
good. I mean, it's not really stealth. I'm kind of counting your stealth from when you guys were coming in for this whole thing. But the sleight of hand.
It's 22.
Start fiddling around with the drawers and, like a child rifling through their father's office desk.
Show me
notice
the
that someone-
Playboys.
Yeah, we're the Playboys. Why are these pages sticky?
Oh. And thus always to tits.
Yep.
Yep. Fucking twitties everywhere. But noticing that some of the drawers are not well lubricated, I could not think of a better way to put that. They would start making noise, and you realize, okay, you got to back off just a little bit and take your time doing this. It'll take you about 5 minutes to do a proper rummage.
Mhm.
So let me know if you want, like, I'm saying this before you decide to either want to take a full 5 minutes or you want to be like, I don't have time for this, or you don't want to have time for this.
If nobody's stopping me, I'm gonna like kind of take the time and take the care, because having only what Yimmer's told us to go on, I want to know as much about whatever the hell might be wandering around up here as I could.
Okay.
But I am also probably gonna like telepathically say, "Gonna take me a bit. Anybody doesn't mind watching my back, making sure I don't get jumped by Harry."
I can guarantee quiet, but that means we also can't hear them.
I'd rather know what's coming.
Alright. I'll just keep my eyes and ears open.
You do exactly that. The 5 minutes go by, and you're rummaging through, and like, there seem to be a lot of benign paperwork there, just requisition. You notice that there's a consistent names going through there. Is looks like a signature of a first nurse, Norl Harborsbane, but also first researcher, Ray Hindergrass.
Right. Well, I'll take those and stuff them in the old inventory. All right. I don't think there's anything much useful to us right now, but it was Hintergrass was head nurse and Harborsbane was the head researcher?
Yes. Sorry, other way around. Harborsbane was first nurse.
Right.
Hindergrass was first researcher.
What was her name again? Her first name?
Norl. Noral.
So, yeah. But if we find anything in admin, we might be able to match signatures or keep an eye out for these two important folk.
Mention those names to us?
I do.
Isn't Ray the one he mentioned? Didn't Darrin mention that name? Isn't that their spore warden?
Oh, shit.
Is that the guy you want to fight, Yimmer?
You're muted.
You're muted, Matt.
Well, yeah,
There can only be one Spore Master.
exactly. What about the competition? Obviously, this guy's not good. Mushrooms are supposed to be great and natural, not like, oh, except like in your head. It gets a little in your head sometimes, but not like outside your head.
Yeah.
And he is
Well.
their head physician, you said?
Head researcher, I think.
Head researcher. How long has this been going on? Then again, some of you aren't aware. One of the first major attacks that happened was in Ministad. Was in the main square. We found that there were some... The bricks laid for the foundation of the square were partially alchemical components and created a summoning circle. Those bricks were laid, I think it was 15 years ago.
Well, the sons of bitches have patience, I'll give them that.
War ended 20 years ago, I think. They've been planning this since the start. Slowly working their way into our societies.
It
Would
certainly
be.
surprise me.
Go for it.
It certainly wouldn't surprise me. I mean, a lot of power is accumulated slowly, whether it's wealth or influence. This counts as influence.
Would be recognize either of the names that Diamondback shared. Long shot, but
You would not know Bray, Hindergrass. Norl, you've heard. Norl, you've heard names of, mainly due to some of the people that you have dealt with or have hurt, like, or people that have been hurt would mention, "Oh, I got treated by this really nice nurse," and mentioned her name. But it was very much just ever like once in a blue moon you would ever hear the name. Generally, it was just really nice. She did her job. Wasn't a dick.
I want to skim Hintergrass's notes a bit and see if I can get a sense of what the hell they might have been doing.
These notes here are more or less just they're like requisition forms. And there isn't anything of real substance within these notes themselves. It's more or less just like subject is showing higher senses of aggression. And like that's
Well,
one logbook. You look a little bit earlier and you see like subject shows signs of fatigue.
They've been testing the mushrooms on people here, I think. Who knows how long.
I mean, that would make sense why it just kind of happened one day. Why all of a sudden there were these shamblers walking around town.
Yeah.
Either they let it out on accident,
Or on
Or-
purpose.
it was time. Let's... Oh. Oh.
I get back now.
You're back.
Hey, can you hear
Yeah,
us?
there we are.
Okay.
There was
good.
just a funny. It's like they let it out on purpose, and Tom, nope, gone.
Yeah, basically it was going to go like, well, I can't be certain, but I'm getting a lot of they made that thing off of these notes.
So
Oh.
I guess it's... Did they let it out on purpose at this time, or did it just get out?
We'll have to keep looking around and find more information.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like if it was on accident, then wouldn't fucker be dead? I mean, well, we know he's alive and breathing.
Maybe he knows a way to stave them off. The goblins did have some way of preventing the aggression.
Yeah.
Suppose, but look around. This does not look like it's on purpose. I mean, even the things that's supposed to restraints are torn asunder.
Well, I can't tell from the notes, but they talk about moments of heightened aggression, moments of docility. It might have been testing how far they could push these things. Even if they weren't intending to get their entire place scratched up, I think they wanted to see what it could do.
Is it possible that they were... Bear with me, this may sound stupid. Is it possible this was an attempt to test certain things alongside the mushrooms for a cure?
It is possible.
Forgive me for playing devil's advocate. He rubs his horns. It's kind of my thing.
Well, no, Hal, you're right. I was thinking this too. It is possible. We don't know anything about Hindergrass. It is possible. Maybe he was just trying to find a cure, and in order to survive, switched sides when things popped off.
Maybe.
Or was otherwise persuaded.
Or was otherwise persuaded. Maybe they've been blackmailing him and forcing him to do these things. We really don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
All we know is he's their spore warden and also the head researcher.
Well, knowing we got company, do we want to keep looking around up here, or do we want to find a different part of this place to get to?
I'd like to look around here more, but it might be safer to try and find our way to a less populated area.
Assuming there is one.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Should we not stop by the storage, just in case it hasn't been destroyed?
Yeah, we should. Let's see what we can find.
We maybe want to talk to the people with your minds, because I can't do that. And I can only talk to you guys with my minds and be like, hey, Fate's blessing is fucked. No sign of people.
Let's see what else we can find first.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Yeah, where are you going?
Storage.
George? Okay, so, you open the door. It doesn't make a sound. I'm assuming you're now going to be walking at half speed and being extremely cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Remorse.
Hmm.
You open the door up and you kind of take a quick glance. Again, you don't see anything. It's still dark. It's still quite eerie. That being the case, there's a door. The way this hallway is set up is right now the room that you're heading out of. If you look immediately left, it pretty much goes into a 45. Goes into a 45, which on that 45 there's a door, just right on the corner. You go a little bit further, like another 5 feet up. There's another hallway heading onto the left hand side. Then the hallway that you're currently in ends another 5 feet after that and takes a right. If any of that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah.
So basically, like, it's about a 15-foot hallway. First 5 feet, door on the left. Second 5 feet, hallway heading down on the left. The last 5 feet, the hallway ends, but there's a hallway going down on the right-hand side.
Okay.
90 degrees. I feel like that's going to be a better way to describe this whole thing to you guys, so that way you have a better mental map.
And was it left or right that was the way we originally came from?
The right-hand side is the way that you guys had originally come from.
That's what I thought.
Like, just to
So-
show you, I actually have a full-on map here, so I know exactly where you guys are.
Yeah.
I love that it blurred it too as it's part of your background, because it's like, I have a
You
map.
don't know nothing, but
You
other
can
than
see that I
know
have
where
one.
you are, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
lead you astray. Have faith in me, my children. Please.
Let's keep going left towards the supply sign
Yeah.
directions.
Try that first door.
On that first door, you see lab.
We're looking for supplies. We're looking for
Yeah.
I just kind of... No, let's look for supplies.
Moving a little bit further, you notice a sign on the wall. You notice a sign on the wall, but it actually juts out and it says supplies, and it's pointing down the left-hand hallway.
looking for supplies.
All right.
Looking for supplies. Bee's just singing a song in her head.
To us, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in the mind. B, stop it, I can't.
Then all we're getting from Spleen right now is boobs, tits, boobies, sleeve.
They're bigger than my head.
You would like them seared into your head. That being the case, heading down this hallway, this inner corridor, you walk up and it's about 20 feet long, and there's a door right at the end, but in the middle of this hallway, it's about 10 feet wide. There's a corpse that is on the side of a wall, which on the opposite side is a hole that has been blown right open.
Okay.
So it kind of looks like the body went with the wall to the other side of the hallway.
Make an investigation.
Investigation. How did they die? Well, shit. Investigation. It's just a 4 now. 7.
7. It's hard to tell. The body looks heavily mangled, and it's this elven woman with longer black hair, but the way she's dressed almost looks like a part of like Beatles group of guards from the Greedy Drake.
It's a bit odd. Oh, I can tell that something hit her really hard.
Yeah. And the wounds on... Sorry, I forgot to actually describe the wounds on the body.
It wasn't a good investigation, so...
I mean, there are cuts. There are deep slash marks. Yeah, deep slash marks and bruising all over the body. And puncture marks as well. That being the case, it looks like this woman went through hell.
Let's not end up like her.
Yeah.
You said
Could that
she's.
One of the people we're looking for?
I don't
Just
know.
dressed like him.
One of you want to take a look?
Yeah.
It's just like, you asked the question, but I don't know what you want to do. Like, I'm sitting here in perpetual, like, do I tell you what you want to do, or do you tell me what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look and see if
Come on.
she looks like any of the descriptions given.
She unfortunately does. This is Silo Vesper, one of the scouting group. I know I never told you guys beforehand, but now that you see this body, your memory jogs, and this is what they look like. They do. Out of the 4 that were described, Silo Vesper was one of the leading scouts. The other 3 are Carys R. So Carys AUR. Dwarven woman, black hair, very light on foot, very, for a dwarf, petite in nature. Second one is Ludlow Cud, a tiefling of, I want to say velvet, but that's not like it's a lavender tiefling. Lavender tiefling. I'm trying to remember the description. Yeah, lavender tiefling. We're just gonna start there, and it'll come to me when it happens. And the last one is Tulum Flayers.
I don't think that
Another
bodes well for
tiefling.
Chris.
Another tiefling, red-skinned, dark black eyes, like jet black eyes, unusually high cheekbones. That's basically the description you get off of them for that.
Right.
Well, that's rather morbid. Perhaps the rest of the scouting party is further down, though.
Maybe. Want to check that room that she got thrown out of.
So you take a look. You take a look, and it's very much the same as the other rooms that you were just in. Another chair that was in the middle. This one doesn't look to be touched at all. There seems to be barely any scratch marks or signs of damage on the walls or anything. There is a desk in the corner, but this room is very like diamond shaped. So that follows the line of the hallway and then kind of does a hard 45 as it ends where the hallway ends as well, coming down and in. So the desk is in the far corner where it seems to be square.
Wouldn't mind going note grubbing again.
No gremlin?
Yep.
Give me!
So yeah, just gonna pop on in, kind of with the same sort of stealth and care, sort of start opening drawers and see if there's anything worth taking in there.
Okay. I'm just gonna utilize that sleight of hand that you had earlier. Because you kind of got the feel for it doing it then, and trying to be as stealthy as you can. This door, the door that leads into the hallway, is shut. But you see into one of the corners that there's a hole in the ground.
Oh, I don't like that.
Well, while we react to that, you gotta stretch with us.
Stretch? Okay, so we got stretch.
For a second there, I thought it was
Big
Screech.
stretch to the left. Big
Yeah, bro.
stretch to the right. Shoulders back. Double chin. Thank you for that. This tense moment has been brought to you by this stretch.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I did get slightly distracted by that, so no, nothing really in the desk per se, but...
I didn't get to that.
Oh, good, yeah.
I'm just giving you the verbal description of the room.
Yeah.
Rummaging through the desk, you notice that there's a bunch of rather benign, like requisition forms or just kind of like half-written notes.
Yeah.
But they don't make sense, and you don't understand Dr. Scratch.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get some of you smarter folk to look these over at some point. Do I see on these or the other notes? Did I ever see any mention of mushrooms?
No,
Okay.
no, you did not. Not on these ones.
Yeah. Also, there's a hole on the floor in here.
What?
There's a hole in the floor, dear Howard, dear Howard. There's a hole in
You
the
shut
floor,
your mouth
dear
right
Howard,
now.
The hole.
Like the bottom of the hospital? Not on a log.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to have a look into it and see what I can see below.
You look down and it looks like it kind of just arcs pretty heavily, and it goes into the next room. Like
I
it's
think
underneath, and you can't see what's in the next room. But
I think something might have been digging.
What? And why?
Yeah. Is it big enough for me to fit into
oh yeah,
without getting really claustrophobic?
yeah. No, it's humanoid size.
Yeah.
A medium
Alright.
creature can easily fit in there. And not feel too claustrophobic about it.
Yeah. So I'd kind of pass that information along and go. Gonna see if I can see what might be on the other side. All
Good
that
luck.
being,
Can you get
thanks.
back up easily?
Yeah, I got a few dimension doors in me.
Let's drop a rope just in case.
Right.
Would you like the lantern?
Probably not a bad call.
I hand it over.
You know, the worst part about all of this is I think almost all of us, if not all of us, have dark vision, but dark vision doesn't let you see colors.
Yeah.
It just makes this whole place even creepier.
Yeah. We're in a film noir.
Yeah, dark vision makes you less racist.
Or is it more racist? Because those are the people who say I don't see color.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone feels like dropping a rope down after me, I'm just going to kind of gingerly lower myself into the hole.
Yep. So like you put yourself into the hole, and it's kind of like the best way I could describe it is kind of like a dog that kind of dug underneath the vents.
Yeah.
So it's not just a straight down hole and
Yeah.
across. It's kind of like one of those.
Yeah, like it's got the.
You got the upward curve on that one.
Yeah. I'm also gonna pull a
Which
dagger.
is impressive because this is a stone floor.
Yeah. As I'm crawling through, am I getting a sense of what might have made this, or?
I mean, what? You don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah, what you don't know, but judging from how the stone was basically excavated and like the dirt that was underneath has been very much like forcefully moved out of the way.
Mhm.
It's something of considerable strength.
Yeah.
And like yeah, something of considerable strength to do something like this.
Not comforting. Okay, gonna keep on going.
Keep moving up.
Yep.
All right. You pop up on the other side, and you see a series. You see a series of tables that are just in the center of this room, just elongated, all equally spaced and whatnot. Then you see a bunch of tables that are following the wall, very circular, with a bunch of chairs and settings that have been placed in the centers of them.
I think I found the lunchroom.
Anything in there?
Anything in there?
You've got the telepathic bond. Now you can speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go, I just heard something, and I start looking around.
You start looking around. Make a perception check.
All right.
What's the range on your dark vision?
60 feet.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, 30 feet, I think. Hang on. Dark vision, where are you? Oh, yeah, up to 60 feet.
Cool.
And I had some inspiration left over from the last session we did.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and use that.
Okay.
That's what I like to see. Okay, perception roll is 25.
25?
Yeah.
You're looking around to just see what is different.
Yeah.
Off in the back corner of this this is like, it's not a square shaped room. It's there's a giant bay section of windows that have been boarded shut. So that's where a lot of the this is where this darkness is still shining through. You can notice, like, you recognize the little beams of light that are coming through. They're very faint and very few, like not enough to ever create like enough lighting in this room. But you can tell between the light beams and whatnot, the differences. This at the end of the section of tables, there's a wall that splits. The one that you see more windows on the left-hand side of these, which have more tables. And on the right-hand side of that wall, that split of the wall, looks to be like the cafeteria run, where people can pick up their food. Inside the left-hand side, like the left-hand side is just very much its own section. You see a shape hunched over. And it's not normal. It's not normal. You see like these giant spikes that are coming out all over its body. And the thing is very much like standard humanoid size.
Yeah.
But it looks to be, it's in the corner. You can't exactly see what it's doing.
I'm just gonna try to Homer Simpson myself back into the hole. The lunchroom is not a safe place. I am coming back now. There may be something on my tail. Hopefully not. And so yeah, I'm just gonna kind of try and like as quietly as I can sort of drop back into the hole and head back into the other room.
Okay. I would like for you to make a stealth check then.
Yeah, should have saved the advantage for this one. Yep, should have saved the advantage for this one.
Oh
That's
no.
a 9.
What'd you get?
9.
Crawling through. You're being quiet. Quiet. But one of the stones right at the end.
Okay in there?
So how far into the hole am I?
You're out of it at this point.
I'm out of it. I think it might have heard that.
Is that a stone in the hole?
Yeah. So just for like sake of knowing where I'm at, I'm back with them in the other room now, yes?
You're in the other test room.
Yeah.
You're in the test room. The hallway where I would assume everybody has stayed is still outside that blown hole.
Yeah. Did I hear it heading towards the hole I crawled through or towards the door to the hallway?
All you hear is...
I'm just going to pull my sword and kind of like stand by the entrance to the hole, readying an attack action for anything that pops through it. And I'm just going to say to everybody else, it heard something, or it heard me. I don't know where it's moving. Get ready for bad stuff.
And Kim, we're in the room next to the hole?
You're in the hallway. You're in the hallway. He's in the room right next to the hole.
Yep. I'm gonna move so I can see into the room. Keep an eye on the hole. Try to keep myself out of view as much as possible.
The wall blows open right beside you. Diamondback. You feel two pairs of hands grab you and pull you through.
Fuck! And he says that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Roll for initiative.
Alright. That's a bit better.
Not for me.
I just want to know if those last little clicks actually went through the mic.
Oh, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And they will permeate through my nightmares.
Excellent. Okay. So 25 to 20. 20 to 15. Diamondback.
18.
Hal.
17.
Okay. 15 to 12. Or 15 to 12. 15 to 10. Really? 10 to 5.
7.
5.
Oh.
Don't you have advantage on this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
No.
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh.
Well,
So 2 it is.
if they put me on a coin, make sure they use the young Diamondback.
So
I was wondering.
5
Yeah,
5
you're
to
muted.
1. You're muted, Matt and Alyssa.
5.
Yes.
Also 5.
Oh, you got a 5 as well.
Yes, right. I did the math wrong for a second there.
Okay, cool.
Wait, is
I
that
forgot
3
one.
5s?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
3 5s, Abadi, he will die. Guarantee he will die.
Diamond Daddy, no.
No monster, don't know Yamate.
Okay, with that, Diamondback. Your
Okay.
turn.
Alright, so I imagine I'm still in this thing's arm / the wall.
You basically got pulled through.
Yeah.
Given the case of, like, you felt the pressure of your body being pulled through these stones, but
Yeah.
you didn't. You take 1 point of bludgeoning for that.
Only one,
The
thank
grappling
you.
action that this thing has attempted on you. I'd like for you to make a contested strength check.
Oh, great. I'm fantastic at those. 15.
15? Alrighty. You're trying to swarm your way out of this thing's grasping. You realize that these things have talons coming out where the fingernails would be, just full on gripping you into the body. And as it starts pressing harder in, you feel the spikes that are now coming out, that were out of its chest and basically like legs and torsos. There are spikes coming out of everywhere,
Yeah. That's a
being
lot of bad
pressed into
touch.
you.
Okay. That's less than fun. So I'm grappled, yes?
Correct.
Okay. Would you say that I can see the thing that's attacking me?
I mean, you have your back to it, but you can sure as hell see it, like feel it, and I would say that you occupy the same space. You have a general idea that you can, yeah.
All right. I'm going to pull one of my daggers and just go, that's a bit of a bad touch there, partner. And as I stab, I'm going to cast Steel Wind Strike.
Okay.
No,
Go for it.
Fox.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other option is, like trying to strength my way out of this, and I have a -1.
Yeah.
All right. So
So-
steal and strike this fucker.
Yep, so... shit. That is only going to be a 12.
Okay. So it's only
but-
just the one attack.
Yeah, because I've only got the one target, at least, that I'm aware of. But I don't think, if I'm reading the spell right, that I have to... actually, here it is. On a hit, target takes 60% force damage. You can then... you can then teleport to an unoccupied space is a different paragraph, so I'd say it's up to you if I can...
I would
Actually,
still say that, like, Steal Wind Strike is still the teleport ability,
Yeah.
whether or not you hit thing. So, like,
Yeah.
you'd still be able to, like, vanish yourself, appear, and then you do the attack.
Yeah. So I kind of just make that wild stab and hit precisely nothing. Or, like, bounces off, but I'm going to teleport behind it.
Yeah. So, with that, you pull the rapier from its sheath as this thing is basically, like, got you in its grip. You do the motion to do a self stab, shift your body, teleport, and think this would be cool if it hit. Didn't.
Yeah.
You look back and you see that you just tilted your angle a little too far for the blade just to miss the torso.
Yeah. And
But
I'm
you
going
are
to-
out of its grip.
Yeah. I have his grip and behind it, and I'm going to teleport out. I need help in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my turn.
Turn? Okay. Hal. Howard, you're on deck.
I am going to rush in and, without doing much other thinking, I will be casting Hold Person, since it is apparently still a humanoid.
Oh man. Terminal.
Wait, did we get hit with another no cursing? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
here I thought I was being nice to you on Mondays. Apparently
She
I don't
was
need to.
waiting for it too.
That being the case. So what is the description of hold person?
The target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration, which is up to 1 minute.
Now, what are the limitations of it?
It's choose a humanoid, and the save is a 16 Wisdom. It also is able to make another Wisdom save on each of its turns, at the end of each of its turns.
As you're casting the spell, you muster your magics up, and you call upon the powers of Baltris to see if he will come through. You try to link your mind to this creature, and you realize this thing is far beyond humanity.
No.
Hold person is ineffective.
Good information to know.
Terrifying. And with that frustration of his spell not working, he is going to rage. That will be it for me, though.
He will rich kid rage.
But Daddy!
Daddy dearest. That's your turn. Howard, you're on. Yimmer, on deck.
I'm gonna move into the room. Not up to the creature, just into the room.
So the way everything is right now is basically Diamondback and this creature are in the cafeteria. There's a hole through the wall. There's a hole through the wall where the test room is. I'm assuming you guys are you guys basically jumping through two holes to get to this creature into the cafeteria?
The hole in the floor goes to
It goes to the cafeteria.
Yeah,
The creature
but-
just decided not to use the hole.
went through the wall. That's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
just make sure.
he
yeah,
reverse Kool-Aid manned me.
Yeah.
Oh!
How big is the test room?
The test room, you can easily fit best route, like the most efficient route of getting into the next room. You can fit 2 people in within that. The rest of the room you can fit other people in, but you will not be able to see into the cafeteria or at least see this creature.
And it's like from one side of the from our original hole in the wall of the test room to the new hole, one side to the other. Is it like 10 foot, 20 foot across?
It's like to get to the cafeteria would be about a 20-foot stride, plus jumping through 2 holes. Which I'm not going to make you do an athletics check at this point because you're in the middle of combat. There's no point to like it's not you trying to use your upper body strength for great feats of athleticism.
I'm gonna run into the room, get sight on where the creature is, and drop silence at its feet.
All right.
And try and contain this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. The rest of
Easily-
my turn is just yelling at the others over the bond. It's gonna be quiet in
that
here. We're
work?
gonna try and keep it quiet. I assume so, because it's telepathic.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it removes all sound, but then that's all physical sound. That's ingenious. Wait. They both concentration.
No, silence is. The bond is not.
Cool. Fuck.
Nice.
That is a
We-
deadly
And we reset
combo.
Reset cursor.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I
Shit!
said it. Don't worry about it.
That's okay. I was close to it anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so easily enough, you jump through the hole. You see Diamondback basically whiff his attack, and Halcyon in front of the hole, desperately trying to cast this magic out. Recognizing the situation, you want to keep quiet. Just this. If you can imagine still air becoming even more still, you'd see what would be like the dust particles just stop in air, representing the silence round.
And it is creepily quiet.
That's your turn.
Nicely done.
Yep.
Yimmer. Yimmer, you're up. Spleen, you're on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Are you gonna fail to throw another mind sliver at it?
no, I'm gonna break my new crossbow, thank you very much. So, so yeah, Yimmer's gonna take out his crossbow and kind of quickly go over, but then as he gets closer to having line of sight, he would kind of just inch around, kind of pop out and try and stealthily, sneakily shoot it.
Yep. Easily enough. You're in the hallway?
That's where I started.
Okay. So yeah, you're in the hallway. You basically find a really good perch, post up on, and you aim the crossbow, and as soon as Halsterian and Howard just shift enough, you find your opening. You can take a shot.
Woohoo! Don't fail me now, because I want to have a good time. Hey! That's something. I assume it was a light crossbow?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. 20.
20?
Dirty.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Very 20. You perch, you post, you're ready. Click. The bolt fires.
Yes. Okay.
The bolt fires, and it punches right into the creature itself. You would hear something, but all you just see is just
Okay. So that's going to be damage plus sneak attack plus the poison damage.
Correct.
So sneak attack is, I think it's 2d6, 3d6. Oh lordy.
Oh, you're getting spicy today.
Yeah, it's amazing when I hit things.
Cayenne in this soup. Ooh.
The vapors.
Okay, so
Crossbow 1, Minesliver 0.
I've done more damage with the crossbow in one hit.
Maybe you should just call the crossbow Mind Sliver, or would that be bad luck?
Permanent mind sliver.
Just load a mind sliver in the crossbow. Okay, so that was 12 plus a d8. Oh, that's an 8, so that's 11 plus 12, so that's 23.
23.
Yeah, 23 plus the 2d6 of poison damage. Ooh, which is an additional 10 poison damage.
Nice.
So 23.
33.
Yeah, 23 piercing, 10 poison.
Gotcha. This thing reels. Yeah, this thing reels. The bolt launches right into what you think would be a shoulder. You notice that you thought it was hair. No, they're spikes. they're full on spikes. This thing is an absolute grotesque monstrosity.
Think we should kill it with fire, guys?
Right. I was like, you can't say that. Yes, you can. Shit. Ah, fuck. Reset.
But
JT, por qué?
You're the problem!
I'm the problem tonight.
We keep getting 5
You're
minutes.
talking to me about being a problem, little Miss Gay Panic.
What?
Wait, hypothetical. You're not included in the bond, so can you actually speak to curse?
No.
I can't give telepathic bond to God. I don't think that works.
God understands all.
Speak my language. Speak my language.
Alright, so that's your turn, Yimmer?
Yeah. I guess bonus action reload.
Okay.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
And it will be another poison bolt. Right.
Oh, yeah. I figured as much. Spleen, you're on.
Okay.
Beatrice, on deck.
Well, does Spleen see this thing?
You're in the hallway, I'd assume, right?
Yeah.
You basically hear Diamondback. Yeah, you hear Diamondback say, it heard me. The sound of a wall being blown out.
Mm-hmm. Then expletives.
Then expletives.
Yeah.
And then silence.
And then pretty much everybody starts running in and a silence comes. Yeah, so you can assume something's going down real quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm going in there.
Okay, easy enough.
I'll take out my hand axes. I guess going into the area of the silent area and just yelling and hear nothing. It's just her opening her mouth, just silently screaming and cursing at that thing, and then pointing at my hand axes at it, and then charging at it while I rage.
Cool. Do that. Head right in. Your silent rage comes forth. Your body changes, and everything comes into full fruition in motion. Running up and through, you run right past Howard. Halsterian has his legs open just enough for you to slide right under, pop up, full on jump and cleave. Go for an attack.
Yeah.
And that would be your full movement doing that.
Okay. That's perfect. Okay. So that is 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
What? There it is. Okay. 5, 4, 9 plus 3. 12 damage for the first attack. Okay. And then I do my second attack.
Your second attack.
Ew, I got a natural 20. A natural 20.
Dang, darling.
Okay, I'm gonna say 6. So a 6 doubled is a 12. That 12 plus a 4 is a 16. And then a plus a 3 is a 19. And freaking heck it, let me do a fury of the smell. And so that will be 29 damage.
Holy crud buckets.
What happened to Spleen? Yo, Bracaris!
Yeah, he's here.
Oh.
Okay. So, first attack, as you're flying through the air, cleaves right down, hits clavicle, right between a couple where the spines are coming out, and you dig deep right into the body in this absolute grotesque humanoid shape. You notice that the innards are not dripping like a standard blood. It's just this purple viscous ooze. Purple viscous ooze. As that hits, you see, like, I would make the noise, but apparently it doesn't make. You just see this gas that gets released. I would let Diamondback and Spleen will take 4 points of poison damage.
I deserve it. I've been a naughty girl.
Oh my god.
Plus another
Spleen,
6 of
stop
piercing.
enjoying it.
6 piercing. Okay, that's a 3.
Is that the same for me too?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're within 5 feet of this creature. Yep.
Yeah.
Mikey.
You take it out. You take out the axe, and you start chopping down at its leg, which makes purchase, almost bringing it down to its knees, which at that point is another 3 points of poison damage and 3 points of piercing damage. As the spray of poison, of noxious fumes come out, you don't hear the noise, but you definitely smell it, and it is acrid as all heck. But with that, even with the landing, the spikes in this thing's body just release and shoot out at the same instant in motion. But with that, you see that this thing is heavily, heavily wounded. This thing is heavily, heavily wounded. And these wounds that have just been hit start festering. Just start bulging right out. Beatrice. Sorry, Spleen, is that your...
It is my turn.
Beatrice.
Well, B hears the expletives from Diamondback and the thud before silence went up, and everyone running in one direction. So she does the same thing, pulls out her hand axes, just like Spleen did, and runs towards where the sound might have come from.
I mean, as soon as you get to the hole, you look through and you see this thing just being waylaid, but also realizing now you have 3 people in your way. It's probably going to take all of your movement probably just to get through Halsterian, who's up front and not inside the cafeteria.
Silent growls. I want to hit that thing!
I'm an obstruction.
My doctor says I have one of those. I only have 6 months to live.
Bee will kind of go around the side and just like silently just like wait for it to move because she doesn't want to get in the way of all of her friends and they're all around the thing.
Yep.
Just sit there and prepare an attack.
Okie dokie. You do that. It is now the creature's turn. Diamondback, you're on deck.
Thank you.
After having its quarry just disappear out from its grasp and not understanding where it went, to seeing bolt flying goblin, flying goblin hit. It's gonna take two. It's gonna take 2 attacks at Spleeny. Le spleen, which it will do. That'll be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. Be nice if I had the right dice out.
You can use D4s, it's okay.
But
Please.
why?
Because they're the most dangerous of all.
The caltrop.
If you drop it and the light's not on, there's only one way to find it.
You'll take 4 points of piercing damage. I would like for you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do then. Okay, I got to do then. Roll the that is hold on. Oh no! What's 13 plus 8?
21.
Thank you. I hate odd numbers.
But you're an odd number yourself. Why do you hate yourself?
Well, for a lot of reasons.
Can only be one.
With that, you do succeed, but you will take. You'll take 6 points of poison damage. As the claw. Sorry, this is a bite attack. This thing chomps down at you, but you feel like you were just to be able to pull yourself back just enough for the teeth to graze the skin, but there's a festering wound that starts bubbling afterwards. It's going to make its second attack, which is going to be a claw, which that'll be a 10.
That misses? Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know why there was a question mark.
So with the bite attack coming down, it takes a wild swing, and you just kind of step right out of the way, seeing it coming.
Yeah, with it biting, I silently growl, but flinch backwards. I guess enough to miss the claw.
Miss the claw.
Mr. Claw. Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
That claw.
All right. So with that, Diamondback.
All right.
That's the creature's turn. Diamondback.
Well, having it spew spike and poison onto me was not nice, but at the same time, I'm realizing that most of my spells are useless right now because I can't sing.
Sorry.
So,
Probably worse off, trust me.
we're all good. So I'm just gonna kind of like take the rapier and make an attack.
Okie dokie.
Alrighty. So, swinging that. No, that's a miss.
Well, what is it?
One less than the last attack I made.
Which is what?
11.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Just because you think you might miss doesn't mean you might actually miss.
Yeah. So I missed that one. Swear in my head. And wind up from a
Well, no,
second
you don't
attack.
miss. You try and do a calculated thrust, but one of the bulging parts of this one of the festering wounds kind of just like acts as a rubber. So you're poking in, but it's not exactly finding like enough to get through.
So you're saying I didn't break the rubber?
Oh.
No child for you tonight, child.
With that terrible pun, I'm going to wind up from my second attack, because College of Swords! Hey, that's a bit better. That's a dirty 20.
Nice. That definitely hits now.
Nice. And I am going to do a defensive flourish to add a d10 of my bardic inspiration onto that.
Nice.
For a grand total of... Ooh, that's good. Let's see here. So that is 19 piercing damage.
19 piercing damage?
Yep.
Right on.
And my armor class is increased by 9 until the start of my next turn, so I'm rocking a 25 right now. As I kind of like give it a poke and then like sort of pull back into a guarded stance.
With your stance, the first thrust didn't make it, and I realized the wordage of that now as I say that loud.
Thrusted to penetrate the rubber, but didn't.
Again, but with that, you realize, just screw it, slash, boom, slash right down, like in between a bunch of the spine sections, right down, the spine of this creature. See this thing flex back. Diamondback, finish it.
Basically, I'm just going to kind of like adjust as I make that slash, I'm just going to kind of adjust the thrust upward into what I hope are its vitals and just like...
I like it too. Mm-hmm.
This thing, as you slash down, find a proper angle and push the sword right through. Spleen, you see the sword tip come right out of the chest. And it comes,
nice.
as it pulls out, you see this thing just... I would like everybody within a 15-foot radius, which would be Spleen, Diamondback, Howard. Yeah, that would be it. To make a dexterity saving throw, please.
All right.
It's just ability checks, I believe. Yeah, that's not till 3.
What if I just want to take it to the face?
Okay, so
Right.
Dexterity saving throws start with Halsterian.
Hang on. Dex saving throw is just an 11.
Okay. That is a fail. Diamondback,
That is a 26.
that succeeds. And Spleen,
14.
that fails.
Sweet.
Okay, buddy.
This thing starts twitching and shifting with the silence down. You do not hear it, but you feel the concussion and the pressure as this thing's body just explodes within itself, releasing gas and all the spikes in its body at once. Just so that'll be
His chat.
So
JT,
that'll
don't read the
be
chat.
sorry, that'll be 9 points of poison damage,
Okay.
and that'll be. I can't math right now. 15 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And that's the full Diamondback because you saved. You get half of that.
Okay. So 7 and 4.
Correct.
Yep. Oof, I am looking rough.
I would like to just take my hands and wipe it off of my face and just kind of like shake my hands. And turn around and start talking to people, not even using my mind thing.
And it's silent. In the wind,
Yep.
you see what basically is just the legs standing right up, just fall down.
Yeah. Dum, dum, dum.
But you don't hear a thing. But there is a bloody, grotesque mess was left over of these things.
Not for nothing, but I don't want to fight one of those again.
Couldn't get in. You were all in the way.
We should probably not stay here.
Yeah.
Blaine is still
We
talking.
need like 6 paths.
I need to hit anything. Angrily
Spleen,
puts.
Spleen, we can't hear you.
She starts yelling.
Inside voice, honey. Inside voice.
Use the
inside.
Inside. Twitties. There you go.
He's just
All of a
motioning to
sudden-
her. Use the
All of a sudden,
brain
you have
thing.
full volume brain voice of Spleen saying, "What the fuck was that? That shit was disgusting. It bit me. It hurt. It
Lower
exploded all
inside
over my face.
volume.
Diamondback, what the fuck were you thinking? Why couldn't you be more stealthy? I'm serious. We're trying to have a stealth mission. How many times are we gonna get in a situation with this party?"
Thank you for your help.
Ow.
Welcome.
That feels weird.
Like getting yelled at in your head?
Yeah. It's almost as weird as not hearing anything. This is a really weird combination. We should probably move. That silence
For reference,
wasn't
that is
around
what
for
you
the
saw.
wall.
What?
Oh no.
Jesus Christo.
Whoa! That's hot.
I knew you were going to say that.
Judas Priest.
Yeah, I'm game.
I knew it.
Yeah, definitely in agreement we should not stay here. If we can get someplace where I can start singing again, I can patch some folks up. Namely me.
Yeah, let's head towards supplies. Quickly.
Yeah.
Quietly.
That's what I was saying all along. We're looking for supplies. We're
We
looking
were.
for supplies. But instead, we had to go down this stupid hole.
Well, I thought there might be supplies on the other side of it.
Can't even get to hit that thing. And B just
You're-
angrily walks out towards the supplies.
Down to
You're
the
better
supplies.
off for it.
Right on. You head, so you guys rushfully head down there. What's the radius on silence? Is it like a 10-foot?
It's a 20-foot radius or a
What did
10-foot
we
radius.
learn?
It's one of the two.
Absolutely
It's
not.
either a 20-foot radius or diameter. Check.
I would think it'd be 20 diameter, personally.
20-foot radius. Wow, I didn't realize it was that fucking
Wow.
big.
That's
Huge.
Shit. Okay. You guys are easily still within this range of silence. As you walk down to the storage hall, you try the door. It is locked.
Is the door within the radius?
Yeah.
Either of you ladies want to just have fun?
Yes.
Yes!
Power girl
just-
couple kick door.
Maximum. Let's go!
Fallen angels.
Yes!
Angels! Both wielding our hand axes.
Yes.
So okay, make a strength check. Sorry. I mean, actually, at this point, it's an attack roll. You're just full on kicking a door in.
Mm-hmm. Do.
Just an unarmed attack, or
It's an attack. Yeah, it's an unarmed attack, but just add whatever bonuses you need to add on top of that.
Yeah.
I'm just giving this to you. Just roll the damn dice and make clacky noises.
Was the timer up?
yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was desperately trying to word things.
19.
25.
Nice.
In tandem, the both of you two together. Lock, step, heel kick, kush! The door just poof, flies right open off the handle. You see two tieflings and a dwarvish woman on the other side, spears up. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh shit.
You were right fucking there.
Oh shit.
Oh no!
Oh my god. All right.
It's all Diamondback's fault.
Thank you guys for sticking around so long. Tom, you want to take us away with the ending announcements while we can try and figure out what we want to watch? We're not watching Titty Streamer.
Why not?
We have
I
to.
found liquid gold, and I wanted to share it with you all. Look at giant tits with me.
It's not gold, it's cocaine. There's a difference.
They're not streaming anymore.
No! No!
Well, thank you all so much again for joining us here in Falskallan. Thank you for tolerating how many times we mentioned tits tonight. Thanks again to D&D Beyond for sponsoring us, especially considering how many times we mentioned tits tonight. Thanks to FX May Vary for sponsoring us, and for contributing two amazing artists to the Dire Bear family. Huge thanks, of course, to our first Adept Patreon, whose name will, once again, be read out as a classic Diamondback parody song. We love you so, Mama Bear. You help us roll with your fare. Keep us alive, try to see. You're right behind us, you make us free. You bring us a higher love. You bring us a higher love. Whoa. You bring us a higher love. It's a higher love on our Patreon. And if you want to hear me do some awkward parody songs for you too, hit up patreon.com/DireBearAC and, well, you know what you're getting into. Also, take some time to peruse our merch, please, while you're still here. Remember, these are the last few days you can get the Beyond Alignment Pride shirts on sale. Check out some of the other brilliant streams on this channel, like Monday nights, bi-weekly with the Oops All Bards party of Melody of the Maelstrom. Not everybody or not all the characters in this adventure are musicians, but all the players are. And if you think I'm crazy with the music, just give them a look. Creatures of the Night, of course, might want to sink their teeth into Valley by Night River City, our Vampire the Masquerade tale spun on Tuesday nights. And tomorrow, Swords, Sorcery, and Chivalry in a Knight's Ransom, a bracing adventure set in D&D 5e. And I still have no update on whether or not the Saturday game has found people, if it's a thing, who knows. Hit us up on Discord anyway, check the job board, annoy the people running the game. Don't annoy them, please. But, yeah, it might see what might happen. And that is it. JT, take us home.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you, everybody, for a good night of D&D, as much as I may have... but I have exacted some revenge on you. Good luck. That being said, thank you for everybody who stayed out a little bit longer tonight. We started later, but we still got a full session in, and I'm still quite proud that I'm still awake. That being the case, I want you all to be safe out there. We're still in the middle of some really weird and really difficult times. Life's hard, but don't worry. We're all here for each other. That being the case, just be kind to one another. I love you all. Have a good night. Do you dare to imagine?
Have you ever fought a dragon and stormed its mountain lair? Have you ever killed a vampire and seen the evil in its lair? Have you ever sought adventure and couldn't find it anywhere? Well, here's the answer to your call. We're gonna die of Adventuring Company. Come leave behind all your cares. Adventuring Company. Come with me and see what's out there. If you wanna be a hero or a demon in disguise, if you wanna steal a spaceship and sail across the endless skies, if you wanna live a story and you're down to have some fun, come on and join the Dire Bears. There's a game for everyone. Adventuring Company. Come leave behind all your cares. Adventuring Company. Come with me and see what's out there.